Hello. Hello, Eleanor and Stan. Nice to see you. Yes, it is a beautiful day. Lynn, good morning. Michael, good morning. Kathy, good morning. Carolyn, good morning. And Nancy, good morning. So a lot of the regulars from Wednesday's class that used to be together last year. So here we are. This is amazing. Thank you for being here. I'd like to say this, so I teach in the 8-week sessions if there's anybody that's here that's not usually practicing with me in person. And so this is the end of 8 weeks. And so I will be off next week and looking forward to that. And I probably would have been in Scotland. Normally I go to Scotland right around now because this is when the puffins migrate. And it's a really good time to go because often the weather is really nice there. And so usually the beginning, first week of May, I would have been there last year. I was there the year before in the beginning of May. And this is really my time for going to Scotland. Lynn, good morning. Martha, good morning from Chicago. So yeah, thanks for being here. So this is, I'm teaching this week and then all next week I'm off. And I do have a lot of recorded classes, so you can always practice them, probably fast forward through the beginning and then the end. I also share and speak. Dina, good morning. Good for you to be here. That's awesome. All right. So without further ado, let's get ready. Let's get ready to rumble. Not really. Okay. All right, so for today's practice, I would like to do a lot of the basic postures. They're called postures because the actual movements we do are to find alignment in the body and then to strengthen our body in that held position. And the focus of many of them, or all of them really, is to put you in a position that has an intention or benefit. Today, I'd really like to focus on strengthening the aspects of what holds us up. So what I'm noticing in, whether it's people I work with, people I'm teaching, or even in family and friends, I'm noticing so much of this. And even if I'm accentuating it to show you that postural position, when the shoulders are forward like this, it causes so much breakdown and pain and suffering in the body. So getting these shoulders to stay back all the time, we need to have the muscles active that help to hold you upright in this position. And it actually helps with the mental emotional layer as well, because when we are in that forward position, it restricts the depth of oxygen that we could bring into our body, which is how we manufacture our own energy. And then that forward down position mentally and emotionally affects your state. So really important to keep ourselves nice and upright so we can enjoy life and live. And also, even if I focus a lot on strengthening the upper part of the body, it actually has an effect on the lower part. Well, because we're all connected. And also because when we are forward, we put extra pressure on the knees and on the hip joint. And then the low back takes a lot of that pressure. So when we work with strengthening our upper body to hold us up, it actually helps with so many aspects. So for today's practice, I'd like you to have a block or something that is similar to a block. It could be a towel. I'd like you to have a strap. I always recommend that we get our strap. Don't always get around to it. So I'm definitely going to make sure that today we do. And at least one blanket, always making sure that you're comfortable when you practice your yoga practice. So if you need to have blankets or pillows or something to help support your body in a way that you know is helpful to you, then do that. We will begin on our backs. We'll begin grounding our energy and bringing ourselves to this moment to set that intention, to slow down the mind, kind of take that mind and think of it like a car that's going 100 miles an hour because we've got the gas pedal on all the time. And now we want to take that intention to actually slow down. Okay, so make sure you have everything you need. We're going to come onto our backs because the back can be really nice and grounding. And we're going to use the blanket only for that supporting the head, the weight of the head. And I'd like you to actually use as least amount of support on your head as you can. And maybe for some of you, I would say no blanket for some if that feels comfortable. I usually like a small amount, so I'm going to open my blanket up to be on its thinnest level so that it's really nice and narrow. And then I'd like you to come on to your body, to your buttocks. I want you to feel, let's start with grounding in our feet and in our seat. So come on to your tushy, do a little bit of rocking back and forth, and feel your feet on the ground as well. And have your feet as far away from you and as wide as they need to be for this to feel okay and comfortable. Having some flexion in the knee and flexion in the hip. And I want you to just feel that grounding. So if you do deal with anxiety and you have times in your life where you're feeling that something's happening, you're going into the space of the mind, when we can drop into our physical body, when we can ground our mental energy into our physical body, that's really powerful. So right here, just getting that real good connection of what it feels like to feel your body and to feel where that support is. In this case, it's the feet and in the tushy. Bring your hands underneath your thighs and lift up one leg at a time. So you feel the connection of your feet on the floor. So really slowly arriving to bringing the mind into the body. And if we were a car, this is slowing down the car. And then let's stop. And there's also a lot of other things that are happening too. You have your muscles along your spine and your core stabilizing you. So the stabilizing muscles in that position were online as well. All right, let's come all the way down onto the ground. If you did have an active mind, hopefully we were able to ground some of that mental energy into the body. That's the tool, or that's the real raised awareness piece here, is that when you are in the place of thinking and thoughts, and that's really where a lot of the illness comes from, whether it's physical illness or mental emotional, the thoughts and the worry of the future or the past, what we used to be or have, and what we don't have anymore, and then what's going to happen to the future. So when you could bring yourself to this present moment, that's where you can let some healing take place. Arrange your head using the ground and gravity here to align your spine. Always a nice thing to do, kind of setting or resetting your skeleton. And the way we sit and stand all day long affects our posture. So this is an opportunity now to reset your skeleton, your joints, where your bones are meeting each other. So I'd like you to feel the points of connection. In the pelvic area, the knees are bent. The pelvic area, you're going to feel the sacrum, which is the base of the spine. So feel that support, maybe even a little side to side. So you actually feel the support of the sacrum on the floor. And for those of you that have joint issues, low back, hip, and knee, this pelvis and where your pelvis is throughout your day contributes to the forces that can lead to inflammation in the joints. I know from my own journey healing my own body, I really focus a lot on where is my pelvis, what position is it in. So the back of the pelvis, the top of the pelvis, the sacrum is the grounding aspect, and also a good guidepost for where is your pelvis. And then if you'd like to take your legs straight, you could take them straight. And if you'd like to keep them bent, take your feet wider than your body and allow your knees to fall in towards each other so that they feel supported and you let go of holding them. And then take your arms, bend your arms and press the upper arms into the floor to lift the rib cage away from the floor and slide the shoulder blades closer to the spine. So you bring those shoulder blades back into their home. And then allow the spine to settle. The back neck is nice and long. Slightly tuck the chin down towards the chest. And let's do a little bit of side to side with the head. Go slowly here. Eyes are closed. Let's make this a moving meditation, a really slow moving meditation. Bring yourself back to center. Inhale. And as you exhale, let your head go to one side during the entire exhale. Inhale back up to center. And the exhale, let your head go all the way as far as it'll go during the entire exhale. Really slow here, closing the eyes. Bring your awareness back to your head. Feel your head on the blanket. And feel the shape that's made when your head goes from side to side. Go slow. The next time you arrive all the way to the side, stay there. Let your head stay all the way to the side. Take an inhale here and an exhale. And on your next inhale, come back up to center. And then on the exhale, go over to the other side. Inhale here. Exhale, relax. And then bring your head back up to center. Stay here. Let everything soften. Bring your hands onto your belly, if they're not there already. And start to become an observer of your breath, where your breath is, where it goes to on your body. On the inhale, inhale the word relaxation. And on the exhale, exhale the word tension. Allow your inhale to come into your body. The word relaxation goes to wherever it needs to go, to let go of holding and gripping and tension. And as you exhale that tension that just left that area of your body. And if you have a specific area that bothers you, direct the breath to that location. And if you don't have a specific area, let the relaxation come into every cell in your body. Bring the breath all the way down to your lower belly where your hands are. So you feel your hands rise and fall with breath. You bring in the relaxation on the inhale. You let go of tension on the exhale.
Notice where your mind is and try to keep it with the breath, keep it with the words relaxation on the inhale and tension on the exhale. Take 3 more breaths like this. When you finish the last breath, keep your eyes closed. Let the breath go. Bring your awareness to your fingers, move your fingers, move your toes. Let's stay with the closed eyes. Let's do a little bit more moving meditation, connecting breath with movement. Eyes are closed. Stay in your body to feel what you feel and to notice what you notice. The eyes are closed. Take your arms out to the side so the elbows are on the floor, the upper arm bones are on the floor. Can you keep the upper arm bones and elbows where they are? Start to lift your hands on the inhale away from your belly, as far as they'll go towards the floor, keeping the elbows and the arms stationary. Don't let them move. And then exhale, bring the hands back to the belly. Inhale, the hands lift off the belly, the elbows stay on the floor, the arms stay on the floor, and you open up your arms as far as your body will let you. Exhale back to the belly. Rotating that upper arm bone, warming up the rotator cuff muscles in the shoulders. Go as far as you can as you inhale to open. Exhale, arms are back towards the floor or towards the belly. Inhale, arms go towards the floor. And exhale back to belly. Let the hands stay on the belly. Take an inhale here. Feel the belly rise and exhale. Let's take the arms out to the side. The upper arm bones move. You bring your arms straight off your body. Maybe you feel a stretch here at the shoulders. Let's take an inhale. As you exhale, let the left arm be heavy. Let it stay there. It's not moving. It's moving towards the floor, as in relaxing. Inhale. And exhale, let the right arm relax. We're going to do a little bit to bend the elbows here, stretching more of those rotator cuff muscles in the shoulders. Let's inhale, arms are straight. And then exhale, slide the backs of the hands and the fingertips on the floor. Bring the hands closer to your head as you exhale. Inhale, slide your hands on the floor. Fingertips are on the floor. You inhale to straight arms. Exhale, you slide the back of the hand and the fingertips on the floor, bringing the hands closer to the head. Don't let them come away from the floor. So only go toward your head as far as you can, keeping your hands on the floor. And inhale to let your arms go back out to straight. One more. Exhale, sliding your backs of your hands and fingernails stay on the floor to come towards your head. Feel the stretch along the way. Inhale to come back to straight. Stay here. Take your knees apart. If your legs are straight, bend your knees, bring your feet onto the floor, and then have your feet a little wider than your body. Walk them away from your body. Keep your eyes closed. Soles of the feet need to stay on the floor at first, so keep their soles on the floor. Let's inhale, let your knees go towards one direction. Feel the stretch in the hips. Keep the soles of the feet on the floor. Exhale, push your belly button to your spine, bring your knees back up to neutral. Inhale, slowly let your knees go to the other side. Soles of the feet stay on the floor. Exhale, belly back towards your spine. Do one more each side. You're going to have a limited range of motion. I want you to feel your hips, whatever stretch you are able to get in the hip joint. Feel that the sacrum stays on the floor. The pelvis does not move at all. So this is isolated in the hips, lubricating your hip joint, creating a safe range of motion in your joints, and isolating joints so that you separate out your movements. Bring yourself back to center. Let's take the feet now as wide as the mat. So let the heels be on the mat and the soles of the feet are on the floor. The toes are off the mat. I want you to close your eyes and let your awareness come to your pelvis. So this is a way to physically release tension, create mobility and range of motion. And then if you do have any issues, whether that's physical injuries or issues that you're aware of, that there's a protection that you hold in your body. So it may be a way to release things you're unaware of, or a way to uncover issues in your tissues. So just be aware and notice. And if this feels vulnerable for you, you could take your arms across you and hug yourself and let your arms protect you, or bring your hands onto your belly. That might sound crazy, but actually yoga, the practice of yoga is on all the layers. It's your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body, your physiological body. And so a lot can come up when you practice. Stay in your body, stay with your breath, stay in this moment. This is whatever date it is, repeat to yourself, this is this date, this is where I am, and I am safe. Let's prepare, take an exhale. As you inhale, slowly let your knees go towards one side. Allow your soles of your feet to come off the floor. As you go farther to the side, you're going to rock onto the edges of your feet. The pinky toe edge on one side, the big toe edge on the other. When you come back to center, you need to activate your core. So zipper up like a tight pair of jeans. You're zippering up a super tight pair of jeans from the bottom all the way to the belly button. You'd have to suck in your tummy to do that. So activate the core to let that happen. Inhale, let your legs go to the other direction. Exhale to bring yourself back to center. Go slow, eyes are closed. A moving meditation, keeping your awareness in your body, keeping your awareness in the present moment. Very mindful movement. The next time you come over to one side, stay there. Allow your legs to soften, so let holding leave, let relaxation come in. And wherever you are, turn your head in the opposite direction, and wherever your head goes, take that hand, reach that hand diagonally away from you so that you stretch that side of your body as much as you can. Really reach your hand away. Try to keep your fingers and your hand far away from each other, side of your body. Let the other side of the body relax. Push your heart up towards the sky so you add a little spinal extension. Keep your eyes closed. You're in your body. Mindful movements. Let the deep breath go down to your belly to help stretch your side body, stretch your spine, stretch your hip. Take one more breath. And then gently bring yourself back to center. Let your arms go back onto the ground. Let your legs come back up to center. Pause here for a second. When we move slowly, we help to repattern our movements. We repattern our function. We repattern and we create space for the nerves to communicate effectively and efficiently to our joints. So they're held in a better position, which will reduce wear and tear and arthritis in the hips and in the joints. Also, that keeps the minerals in the bones where they belong, so they don't leave your bones to come and lay down more tissue to support malalignment in the joints. May seem slow and soft. It's so therapeutic what you're doing. Let's take an inhale and let your knees go into the other direction. Allow them to arrive and then relax them so that the weight of the bones take your body as deep as it can. Take your head in the opposite direction of your knees and then reach your hand away from you to create the hand away from you to create as much stretch as you can on that side. So it's actually the opposite hand of the direction of the face, right? It's the direction, oh no, it's not. Yeah, it's the hand that's on the same side, the direction of the face, because you're stretching that side of your body. And then you can press your heart up towards the sky. Use your breath to help stretch even deeper. Let the other side relax. Take one more breath. And then slowly bringing yourself back to center. Let the arms rest on the side. Walk your feet back to a neutral position. Walk your feet a little closer to your body. And then unbend the knees one at a time so that you let one leg go up towards the sky and the other foot is on the floor. So you're unbending and bending your knee joint and you're closing your eyes so that you don't use the visual and you let your body feel its way to function. Mindful movement. And then I want you to bring your awareness to your sacrum, which is the base of your spine. Notice how there's a gentle rocking of your pelvis when you do this. When you lift one foot off the floor and you unbend the knee, there's a rocking that's taking place in the pelvis. So for those of you that have issues in your body, for those of you that feel that your body is failing you, I want you to feel all of this amazing function that is there. And then go ahead, bring your legs to a stationary position and bring the knees into the chest one at a time. If you'd like to open your eyes at this point, you can, or you could stay with your eyes closed. When you rock back and forth side to side, if the eyes are open, go ahead and close them. Come back down to your pelvis with your awareness. You're rocking across the top edge of your pelvis. So I want you to feel that and really draw the knees in as deep as you can so that you feel the low back pressing into the floor and even the lower ribs. You feel the lower ribs are getting rocked side to side and the bridge of your pelvis. And this is where the back muscles attach to the top of the pelvis and the lower ribs. These are the muscles that rotate the trunk. These are the muscles that laterally flex the spine, that you bend side to side and bend forward. So they take a toll from all of our movements. Let's bring the feet back down onto the ground. We're going to do a moving twist to wring out tension in the body. So the arms go to the side. Let's bring the knees so the knees are together. The legs are together. The feet are together. And let's inhale, let the knees go to the left and let the head go to the right. Exhale, zipper up a pair of pants to come back to center. Inhale, let the knees go to the right, the head goes to the left. And you can let your soles of your feet come off the floor. Really feel the stretch here. Keep going side to side. Gently begin to wring out your body. See what feels appropriate for you. Feeling those muscles in between the pelvis and the low back stretch. Making sure that the length, the distance you go to the side has to be what's appropriate for you, especially those of you with low back issues, because we are affecting the low back here. And then bring yourself back to center. We're gonna go into a deeper twist. Let's take the right leg straight, take the left leg on top of the right leg. Inhale, let the left leg open to the left, and then let it come back up. If you can't get the foot on top of the leg when you do this, you can put the foot on the floor. So do what's appropriate for you. Then bring yourself back up to center. Take your right hand on top of your left leg and let your left leg go over to the right. Now, I'd like it if you kept the left shoulder on the floor, but you also need to let the safety valve happen here. And if there's too much pull on the lower back, let that left shoulder leave the floor. So allow whatever you need in your body. The left foot is on top of the right thigh. Feel the stretch here. Let your arm reach up and away so you're nice and tall in this twist. Inhale. And then exhale to bring yourself back to center. Let's switch legs. Take the left leg straight. Bring the right leg on top of the left thigh. And this action has a little bit of a stretching effect on the side of the leg that's bent. So either you put your leg on the floor or leg here. Let's do a little bit opening the leg out to the side, getting those adductor muscles that attach onto the pelvis. So creating a little freedom in your pelvis here. And then we're going to start rotating. So you're going to, let's take the left hand on the right leg and rotate over to the left. Breathe your way into this. Breathe your way into this by bringing in relaxation with the breath. Notice where you feel the tension in your body. So just like we would take a washcloth to get the water out of it by wringing it, let's use these twisting motions to wring out tension in our muscles, in our joints, releasing stickiness or clearing the cobwebs in the body. And then bring yourself back up to center. Let's take the legs, let's take the let me see. Left leg over the right leg. Left leg is over the right leg, and the entire leg goes over the entire thigh. You've got your blanket behind your head. The arms are out to the side. Left leg is on top, so the movement will be to the right. Right foot stays on the floor. Inhale and let the legs go over to the right. You'll feel that stretch on the side of your body. If it feels too intense in the low back, push your belly button strongly towards your spine to push your spine more towards the floor. We're going to do a little bit of movement first here. So you inhale to open to the side. Keep your shoulder blades on the floor. Exhale back to center. You're not trying to get really far over to the side. I want you to push that left leg away from you. Keep your waist nice and long when you do this. And then one more time, let your legs go over to the right. Let your head go to the left. So feel that stretch. You've got your left leg on top of your right. Your right leg is helping to pull the left leg over to create more rotation. If you need to let the left shoulder blade come away from the floor because the tension is too much, that's okay, do that. Take one more breath here and then bring yourself back to center. Let's take the right leg over the left. Let yourself arrive there. Let the body be okay and let the body let go here. And then you're going to inhale as you let your left leg pull your right leg over, stretching that posterior hip. For those of you that have sciatica or get sciatica symptoms or nerve symptoms down your legs, this is going to open up the tissue, create more flow for your nerves, so less impingement, which nerve pain is burning, throbbing, shooting, buzzing. Inhale. And then one more. You're going to inhale over, stay there. Let your head go in the opposite direction. Press that right leg as far away from you as possible so you can create as much space on this side as you stretch deeply. And then deep breaths to your belly. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back up. Bring your legs off. Go ahead, bring your knees into your chest. So right before I had my hip replacement, I used to experience this weird buzzing feeling. It felt like it was in my pocket. It was on my left side where I had my hip replacement. It actually felt like a cell phone was buzzing because it was intermittent. It was bzz, bzz, bzz. And I actually asked a pelvic floor specialist, a yoga therapist that specializes in pelvic floor, about it. She didn't know what it was. Of course, it stopped once I had my hip replacement. But it was just a weird feeling that it was this, just to think about the joint. I had such degeneration of the hip before I had hip replacement, that compressive force on the nerves creating that buzzing feeling. Let's take the right ankle over the left ankle. Right ankle is over your left ankle. And I'd like you to reach your head up, reach around to grab your feet. See if you could keep your thumb on your arch, and see if you could bring your fingers on the top. And then go ahead and lie back down, or lay back down, and bring your legs towards your body and move a little bit side to side. So this is stretching the hips, stretching the glutes, and relaxing the back. Now your hands are on the outside. If you cannot grab your feet, bring your hands on the outside and grab the top and draw the knees towards your body. Have your kneecaps pointing to the side. We want external rotation in the hips because that's going to stretch the hips and stretch the glutes. And then bring yourself back to center. Take your hands off. Now the left leg goes on top of the right. If you reach your head up, it may be easier to reach around the side and grab a hold of the feet. Thumbs are in the arches. You can even pull your feet more to the side to get a little more of that external rotation. And then the lower leg bones are pushing into each other, so they create even more tension or more ability to stretch, and they press the low back towards the floor. Rocking side to side here. So experience what you experience. This is a lot of deep hip stretching. For those of you that sit often, this is a great way to take some of that tension out of the hip joint, some of the traffic off of the freeway. And then let's bring the legs up towards the sky and the arms up towards the sky. So in this position here, we're letting our skeleton relax. We're letting the stabilized muscles that hold or standing or sitting have to keep the joints in alignment. When we're in this position, we allow them to relax. Having your legs and your arms up in the air, letting the weight of the bones of the legs sink deeper into that hip joint. We've done a lot to lubricate it so far and actually to stretch it. And then the shoulders, letting the shoulders, that upper arm bone sink deeper in the socket. So if you have hip issues, shoulder issues, coming into this, it's like a dead bug pose. So dead bug pose is this, where you hold on to your legs or you hold on to your feet. So let's find dead bug in our body. Either hold on behind your thighs. Let your legs be wide here. So you should feel a little bit of an inner thigh stretch with the legs really wide, holding on behind your thighs if that works for you. Or if you're able to grab a hold of the big toe, 2 fingers go in between the big toe and second toe, and the thumb rests on the toenail. And you draw the knees closer to the floor in a spread leg position. And this helps to settle the low back. It helps to stretch the inner thigh muscles, the adductors, which when they get tight, they affect hip. And this is a great way to release some of that tension, create more mobility in your hip. All right, let's take the legs away. Let's grab our strap. We're going to come through a movement with bridge posture and articulate our spine. So I'd like you, if you have a strap that has loops, you're able to loop your strap so that you can have a loop in your strap. Right, is that good to hold? No. So if you have a strap that has a loop, go ahead and do the loop. And if not, I'll do mine without. So put both of your feet in your strap right now, or you could have the loop, and push your feet wide here. So you have space. My feet have space between them. They're not touching. Push into the pinky toe edges and have the soles of the feet pointing up towards the sky. And then try to make your feet flat so that if I had a tray, I could put a tray on your feet. And then for those that have pretty tight hamstrings and low back and glute, you may need to have your knees pretty bent here for those that have tighter limbs. So this is a great way to notice where you have tightness. And if you have low back issues and you have tight hamstrings, the hamstrings actually pull on the pelvis and they can contribute to low back. So this, if you're able to get your legs straight, if you're able to have your legs right above your pelvis, that's a sign of pretty limber hamstrings. So if that's not the case for you, notice where you are. If it's a struggle, notice if you have to be really bent, notice if your legs are so far away, because this is not good to be there. So try to get the soles of the feet up towards the sky. That's what I really would like. I'd like that articulation in the ankle here. So whether you need to be with your knees bent or not, if you do straight, do straight. And then take one more breath. And then bend your knees. Let's bring the strap up to the top of the thighs. We're going to tie the strap. So you're either going to put the loop around your legs or you're going to tie your strap. Doesn't matter which one you do. But whatever you do, I want there to be a space between your knees. Not a big space. The space is probably exactly the space of a block would be. So it's about 4 inches, not too much. Let's articulate the joints while we're here, the ankles. Inhale, point your feet. Exhale to inhale to point. Exhale to bend. Inhale and exhale. And then go around in circles so you have enough space between your legs that you can make circular joints. And then in the other direction. Feels so good to stretch our bodies. And then we're going to bring our feet onto the ground. So this strap is up on the upper thighs. Now we need to take our blanket away from our head. We are going to lift our body up off the floor. Let your head be nice and long here. Tuck the chin towards the top. Neck needs to be nice and long here. And then you're going to unbend your knees so that your feet are neutral. And then walk your feet a little bit closer to your body. So what I'd like to say here is that having the strap here is going to help with turning on the stabilizers, keeping that pelvis nice and stable. We want to get as much articulation in our spine as possible because a healthy spine is the foundation of a healthy human. So the health of your spine has a lot to do with your overall health in your body. There's 26 vertebrae, and in between them is a disc. And the discs have substance in them, like it's like a jelly donut. So I want you to think about your spine with jelly donut. And we're going to try to squish the jelly to the front of our spine, squish the jelly to the back of the spine. So full range of motion and articulation and whatever feels appropriate for you. Let's begin by putting your hands on where the top of the spine is. Inhale. Keep the low back come away from the floor. So that means you push your sacrum and you start to rock towards your tailbone. which adds a little extension into the spine. Inhale. As you exhale, gather core, so activate your core. Push your low back towards the floor and flex the lower spine. Inhale, the low back comes away and you rock towards your tailbone. Exhale, push the low back into the floor. And do this spinal undulation in the lower back. Feel that. And then bring yourself to neutral. Keep your hands along your body. Let's press the low back into the floor. The tailbone is pointing up, away towards, like in between your legs, up towards your knees. Lengthen the back of the neck. Inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, push your feet into the floor, push into your strap, and begin to peel your spine off the floor. Keep your eyes closed. Feel yourself peeling your spine off the floor. You'll get a little higher away from the floor with the strap on the legs versus pushing the block. So feel how your spine lifts off the floor all the way right up above your heart. Don't let the weight go into your head. Feel your spine bend. And then exhale. Place your spine back down onto the floor, one vertebra at a time. Let the low back touch first, and then let the pelvis touch. Go slow here. Rock all the way to the edge of your pelvis to where your tailbone is, and the low back will be away from the floor. Exhale, start to push one vertebra at a time towards the floor, squishing the jelly donuts towards the back of the floor, and then begin to peel the spine up off the floor, all the way up. Feel that weight going to the top of your upper back area, and slowly place the spine down back onto the floor until the low back touches the top of the pelvis, the sacrum, the tailbone. One more like that. Exhale. Or sorry, we were inhaling to lift. Inhale. And exhale. Now we're going to use our hands. We're going to stay up there. We're going to use a little bit of strength here. So let your elbows bend. Actually, I think we'll all be able to do our hands on the floor. So let your hands go straight right alongside your body. Push your arms into the floor. Lift your upper body off the floor and slide your shoulder blades towards each other. Lengthen the neck here. Push into the strap to begin. Push your belly button to your spine. Flatten your low back. And then to peel, inhale, lift, peel your spine away from the floor. The arms are straight down. Lift up, let your chin go towards your chest. Let the back neck be nice and long. We want to stretch that upper back, stretch the neck area. And then lifting your pelvis away from the floor, moving your knees away from you, push into the strap. If you're able to clasp your hands and keep your rib cage off your upper arms, you could clasp your hands or keep them straight. Push the arms into the floor, push out in the strap, push your feet into the floor, and then lengthen your knees away from you. Deep breaths here. Take 3 deep breaths here. And then when you're ready, you're going to exhale to slowly, slowly, slowly lower yourself down. Let's bring the knees to your chest. Take the strap off. Rock on your back. And then rock all the way onto your side. So we're going to strengthen those postural muscles. We twisted and took out a lot of the tension in the body and undulated the spine. I'd like to work on strengthening the muscles of posture. Let's bring your hand forward and push away from the floor to come up to seated. Let's come on to a reverse tabletop here. So I'd like the fingers to point towards the feet and be as close to each other as possible.
And you're gonna need to see if your body's okay with that. So if your body's not okay with that, if you need to turn your hands away from you to the side or even farther back, do whatever you need to do. We're gonna do a tabletop here. So like that bridge, push away from the floor. We push away from the floor, we use the back of the body, a lot of those postural muscles to help support. So push your hands and your feet into the floor. Inhale to lift away. And exhale to lower. Inhale to lift away. Let your heart lift up. And exhale to lower. Last one. Inhale, lift away, stay here. Stay here. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and lower. Be okay with whatever it is your body is going to let you do. Let's come on to our hands and knees. Bring your blankets onto the floor to support your knees. Always setting yourself up for success. Come onto your hands and knees. Walk your hands a little more forward and the pointer fingers are forward. This is a way to settle the joints with weight bearing. So settling the hips, settling the shoulders, and also allowing the spine to relax in this position. And for those of you that have chronic pain in your joints, in your body, these gentle movements are a really nice way to explore what's safe for your body and to still keep motion in your body, even if you do have pain. Let's take our block now. We're going to come into a dolphin. So I want you to come forward with your elbows. Take the block in your hands. We're going to come into a dolphin posture here. So you could either flat the feet on the floor or flip the toes under and lift the lower legs away from the floor. Choose what's appropriate for you. And then put your hands into the block, push your arms into the floor. The elbows are directly underneath the shoulders. And then let your heart move towards the floor. Bring your awareness to the lower ribs. Press the ribs up towards the sky, up your spine. And then bring your awareness down to your left foot. Push your toes into the floor, all of them. Bring your awareness to your right. Push all those toes into the floor. And then feel like you're trying to slide your toes up towards your elbows. And then push away from the floor with your hands and your elbows. Push away from the floor with your feet. Feel that strength in your body. And then go ahead and bring yourself down. Whatever your body does for you is perfect. Bring yourself onto Sphinx posture. Elbows are underneath the shoulders. Don't let them be wider. Let them walk them closer to each other so they're underneath the shoulders. And then walk the legs closer together so the big toes touch. And then let the legs be soft. Let the pelvis be heavy. Push your arms into the floor and stretch your rib cage away from your pelvis. Let your belly be soft. Breathe down to your belly. Feel that stretch of the abdominal area. Feel that stretch underneath the ribs. So we stretched the lower back area when we did our twisting, those muscles along the lower ribs and the top of the pelvis. Now you're in the front of your body, stretching the abdominal area, the abdominals and the rotational muscles. Take one more breath. And then with length, you're going to come all the way down. Let's take the hands, fold the hands, and then rest the forehead on the back of the hand. We're going to strengthen the muscles of posture. So these are muscles along your spine. They're in the upper back. They support wherever your head is throughout your day. They help to hold your head on top of your spine. So I want you to feel them work, not go too crazy, and feel what's appropriate. So if you close your eyes, you'll be in a better place of feeling and noticing. Let the forehead rest on the back of the hand. Nose is pointing straight down towards the ground. Elbows are pressing into the floor. Hands are pressing into the floor. Press your feet into the floor. Take an exhale. And then inhale to lift your upper back like a mama cat lifts a kitten.
So it's the upper back of the kitten that's the highest towards the sky when the mama cat is lifting the kitten by the nape of the neck. So allow the nape of your neck to be what raises up towards the sky the most. And you may feel a stretch in the abdominal area and that lower rib area. Next time you come up, stay up. Arms are pressing into the floor. Be very active here. So you're not just throwing yourself around, you're trying to create as much space in your body as possible. Take one more breath. And you're going to bring yourself down. Bring the arms out to the side. Palms face towards the floor. Let the elbows come directly off the shoulders. And the palms are on the floor and your hands are away from your body. The hands are not close to your ears. The hands are right on top of the shoulder or the elbow joint. And then put the forehead onto the floor. Let the tip of the nose touch the floor. Inhale, lift up with the nape of the neck. It's going to be a little bit more challenging. You're going to feel many more muscles in the back of your body contracting to lift you up against gravity. Push your feet into the floor. Let the big toes touch. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Go slow. Begin pushing the pubis bone, so the very front of your pelvis. Push that in towards the floor. That'll help to add a little posterior to the pelvis and help protect that low back. Let's do 2 more like this. And then bring yourself down. We're going to do a cobra pose. Now the head a little bit higher. So we'll activate even more muscles along the upper back and the neck. Take your hands wide. So they're as wide as they can be. And the thumbs, for some of you, the thumbs can be right around the armpit. For others, it may be a little bit more comfortable to have your hands a little higher so the thumbs are off the tops of your shoulders. So we'll see what is appropriate for you. Let the elbows be in at the sides of the body. You're going to press your hands into the floor. And when you push your hands down into the floor, push them down, you'll feel how your low back gets a little relief. And then if you push your hands down and you drag them back towards your feet, your body actually rocks a little bit like forward about for me, it's about 1/2 inch. So you press your hands down in the floor and you slide them back. Let your toes touch, push your feet into the floor. On your next inhale, push your hands down and then lift your upper body up. You can let your head go a little higher here. And then exhale to lower. Inhale, push your heart forward, lift up. Exhale to lower. Feel all those muscles along the back working. Inhale. Let's do 1 more. Push your hands down, slide them back, keep the elbows in and down. Come up. Now I'd like you to take your hands off the floor, and if your body lowered, stay to where it lowered. Push your hands back down on the floor, slide them back towards the feet, stay here. Push your pubis bone towards the floor. Feel those muscles in the back working to hold you up. Let your elbows be down low, closer to your body. Push your heart forward. And then go ahead and lower all the way down. Fold your hands at the forehead, rest on the back of the hands. Bring the feet up towards the sky. Spread your legs pretty wide and let your legs go side to side to take tension out of that low back. Let the feet go opposite. So both of the legs come in and then both of the legs go out. They come in. Try to let them be passive so that your hip decides what's a safe range of motion. And then bring your legs back to neutral. Let's bend and unbend the knees here. Go slow. So we're going to stretch out the low back because we were working the back of the body, and then the low back definitely takes quite a bit of that. So let's come up back onto our Sphinx posture, stretching our psoas before we come to stretch the back. This is attached to the low back, so it's kind of like a little bit of a back stretch. So you're holding onto your elbows. Walk your arms over to your right side. Walk your arms over to your right, and then you push your left elbow into the floor and lift your heart and your left side belly away from the floor. Keep your pelvis on the floor. So you're pushing away to lift yourself a little higher, and feel a deep stretch along the hip bone area or the side of the spine, and breathe deeply down there. And then let's walk over to the other side. Holding onto your elbows, walking over to the left, pushing the right elbow into the floor and lifting that right lower belly away from the floor, the right chest. And then let the breath help you as well. Breathe down there. And come back. We're going to do seal, maybe not for everyone. I'm going to give you this option. Take your hands wide, walk them towards you, and come up into a seal posture. And in this seal posture, you're going to look over your shoulders. For those of you that cannot come up into seal, you could stay down in the Sphinx posture, looking over your shoulder. Try to look all the way back to your feet, as far back as you can. And then we're going to come into child's pose. Best way to do that, I would say, is to come onto your side, bend your knees, push your hand into the floor to bring yourself up. So the child's posture is this. Knees are together. You could use a block depending on what you need to come into this child's position or this position. Now, if you have osteoporosis, you want to make sure you do not round your spine. So I don't recommend child's pose for osteoporosis. Puppy dog is another option, and it's an option if the knees don't like to bend either, is to keep the tushy away from the heels and bring the arms forward. You can let the forehead rest on the floor. The intention here is to stretch your spine. So whichever one feels the best for you, either the tushy is on the heels and you're stretching the spine that way, or you bring the arms forward and you let the forehead either rest on a block or on the floor. Just feel what's appropriate for your body. Take some deep breaths here. Make sure the exhale is a relaxation, really let go. Try your arms in different positions. Let your chest move towards the floor or towards your thighs. Take one more breath. And then you're going to bring yourself up. We'll do another spinal stretch to release that tension. So the thing is that if you have osteoporosis, and I know that a lot of people that watch my videos do, so I need to put this out there. And then also for those of you that are maybe unsure if that's the case, half of all the fractures of osteoporosis occur here, and there's a major postural aspect to that, the way we hold our body. We are squeezing the front of our jelly donuts, squeezing the jelly out the back,
I'm putting a lot of force on the front of the spine. Front of the spine is not meant, it's not as strong as the back of the spine. So it's really important that we stay off of the front of our spine and we stay in this nice posturally lengthened position. So we're going to do the turtle posture. I'll show you from the front. This posture is this. You could be like this to the side, or you could come through and grab the feet this way. I'll show it to you from the side. So it's a real rounding and a lengthening. The tailbone is pressing into the ground. You're creating as much space as you can in the spine. You bring your hands underneath. So you bend your knees, the soles of the feet are together or apart, depending on what your body's going to let you do. And then if you can grab onto the feet, you could try that. The goal is here is to have the longest spine possible. So you want to root your pelvis down into the ground. And then you want to pull your lower ribs away from the top of the pelvis. And you can bring more flexion into your body so that you add a little more pressure if this feels appropriate for you. You're going to feel stretching your spine. You may feel something on the outer hips. Either leave the hands out to the side to get more pressure. If you push into the floor, you can really pull your rib cage away from your pelvis and deepen the stretch. And then if you have osteoporosis, I'd say not to do that. Maybe coming here and really being as tall as you can in your spine, creating space between the vertebrae. Deep breaths. And then go ahead and bring yourself up. So where our bones meet are our joints. And it's important to keep the range of motion in there. It's important to keep the range of motion, meaning the ability to move. And it's also important to move it. So throughout the practice, we're moving the joints and stretching the muscles and the ligaments and the soft tissue that support and stabilize so that you can minimize the wear and tear, minimize the placement of one on top of the other by creating more fluidity and space. Let's take the legs wide here. Feel your tushy and more movement side to side here. The hands are to the side. This is also a great opportunity to strengthen wrists, which we all need to do. And you'll need to see what's appropriate loading for you on your wrists. Do you need to be farther away? Do you need your elbows to be bent more so that you minimize and find what is doable for you as you move your legs side to side? And again, bringing your awareness to the grounding aspect. Let's close our eyes. Feel the tushy on the floor. Feel the soles of the feet on the floor. Feel your awareness in your body. And then bring yourself back to a neutral position. It's time to prepare for the Shavasana, to allow integration of all that was in today's practice. So whether there was things that were stirred up for you or movement in the joints, whatever it is, this is the time to let the settling and the integration. So let's bring ourselves down onto the ground. Bring your knees into your chest when you come down onto the ground. And then the knees will help to settle the low back if you need to, or you can go ahead and come into whatever variation of Shavasana you'd like. You can let the body be in a fully extended position, palms up, whatever feels appropriate for you. Go ahead and let go. Stay connected to your breath. Let everything settle. Hare
내 맘에 약함에 고백내 무간대 우단의 여발에 하리영 내 맘에 약함에 고백내 무간대 우단의 여발에 하리영 내 맘에 약함에 고백내 무간대 우단의 여발에 가리영 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 내 맘에 약함에 고백내 무간대 우단의 가리영 내 맘에 약함에 고백내 무간대 우단의 여발에 가리영 내 맘에 약함에 고백내 무간대 우단의 여발에 가리영 내 맘에 약함에
Deepen your, bring your awareness to your fingers and toes, begin to move them. Bring them a little higher up into your legs and your arms. Then draw the knees into the chest. Let that low back get a nice last massage. Bring yourself onto the side and then push away from the floor to come up to a seated position.
Sitting nice and tall, close your eyes, bring your hands together, and let your thumbs touch your sternum bone near your heart. Feel the pelvis, feel your spine, Feel your head on top of your spine. Lower your shoulders. Bringing back in compression from above with gravity onto the spine. Thinking about all the goodness we did for our spine in this last hour plus. We're going to close with the sound, the letter M. Let's prepare by taking a big exhale, then an inhale. Bowing in gratitude. Namaste. So I hope you feel good. I know that I do. I know your body is happy. Your joints, your spine, the fluids, the biochemistry and physiology that was affected by today's practice. And that's actually where so much takes place, is on the layer of our biochemistry. So those minerals and enzymes and hormones and all that communication. So hopefully you feel good after that nice, yummy practice. So hopefully that set you up for a nice week off. Oh, wow, Lynn, I didn't even see that you said your upper back, your neck and your upper back are bothering you. In today's practice, should have been great for that part of your body. So I hope it was. Good, Nancy, that's great. I love to hear that. Yeah, and sometimes people think that when we go slow, we're not doing a lot, but I really feel that we do even more when we go slow, especially when we close our eyes and we're in there and we're trying to feel. We're trying to pull our lower ribs away from our pelvis more than we would by just doing a movement. So it can be really lovely to be inside the body. You're welcome, Michael. Thank you. Carolyn, great. Yes, joints, muscles, space in the body. So like if you like, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I will, great. Yes, I will, Martha. I'll still be here on Saturday. I have one more class this week before I have my week off. Let me see. Good, Lynn. I'm glad that that's perfect for you. Dina, great. Yes, good. All right, perfect. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you whenever I see you. I have my next class in 10 minutes, so I got to get ready for that. I will see my Wednesday people 2 weeks from now on Wednesday, and then whenever else you're in class with me. So have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.